I am utterly speechless at this point. How much longer do these writers expect the fans to sit back and watch this absolute mess? I have been watching this show for decades, ladies, and I have never, ever seen a character assassination quite like what they are doing to Willow right now. Are you kidding me? We are talking about cold blooded, premeditated murder. If you are not screaming at your television screens, then I do not know what to tell you, because my blood is absolutely boiling. What we are about to witness is the complete and total destruction of everything we thought we knew about these people, and honestly, I am both horrified and entirely unable to look away. Let us set the scene and talk about Nina first. Imagine the sheer, unadulterated terror coursing through Nina's veins when she walks into that room and realizes that Drew is no longer a silent, paralyzed victim. He can speak. After months of him being trapped in his own body, unable to move a muscle or utter a single syllable, Nina suddenly hears his voice. Can you even imagine the absolute panic that must have gripped her heart in that exact second? The color must have completely drained from her face. Nina knows exactly what Drew has been holding on to. She knows that inside his head are secrets so dark, so incredibly damaging, that the moment they see the light of day, her entire life will be reduced to ashes. Every single lie, every single manipulation she has orchestrated over the past year is suddenly staring her right in the face. And it has a voice, and this is where the story takes a turn that is so dark, it feels like a heart-wrenching betrayal of the history we have watched unfold. Just as Nina is standing there, completely paralyzed by her own guilt and fear, who walks through the door? Willow, the supposed saint of Port Charles. The woman who has spent years perched on her high horse, judging everyone else for their moral failings. But when Willow sees Drew sitting there, fully capable of exposing her, does she try to negotiate? Does she try to beg for forgiveness or find a peaceful resolution? No. She takes one look at the man she once claimed to care for, and she instantly recognizes him as the ultimate threat to her perfectly curated, fake little life. The mask completely slips. Ladies, the sweet, innocent mother and nurse is gone, replaced by a calculating, ruthless monster who is willing to do whatever it takes to protect her own interests. I am losing my mind over the sheer audacity of Willow's thought process here. After already targeting Drew twice before, she does not even hesitate. She does not pause to consider the moral implications of what she is about to do. In her twisted, desperate mind, she believes that the only way to keep her secrets buried is to bury the man who holds them. She decides to kill him. Am I the only one who had to rewind and pause just to process this outrageous writing? Willow looks at her own mother, Nina, and instead of seeking comfort, she manipulates her. She forces Nina into a corner, using that toxic mother-daughter bond to drag Nina down into the depths of hell with her. Willow demands that they eliminate the problem permanently. The sheer cruelty of this moment cannot be overstated. Willow and Nina, operating in a state of absolute frantic desperation, decide to push Drew into the pool. They push a man they believe is paralyzed into a pool to drown. Think about the absolute malice required to look at a vulnerable human being, someone who cannot swim or save himself, and shove him into deep water. They genuinely believe that because he has been immobile for so long, he will just sink to the bottom like a stone. They stand there, thinking they have just executed the perfect crime, believing that the water will wash away all their sins and silence Drew forever. It is despicable. It is the most heinous, unforgivable act I have seen on this show in years, and I was screaming at my screen, begging someone, anyone, to stop them. But oh my goodness, the writers finally gave us the payoff we have been starving for. Because Drew is not the helpless victim they thought he was. What a twist. I am getting goosebumps just talking about it. Drew has been playing the longest, most brilliant game of chess while these two fools were playing checkers. He had already secretly regained almost all of his physical strength. He could move, he could swim, he was fully capable, but he deliberately hid his recovery. He sat in that chair, playing the part of the broken, silent man, specifically to lull Willow and Nina into a false sense of security. He knew exactly how evil Willow had become. He anticipated her every move. He knew she would eventually try to finish the job, and he laid the ultimate trap for her. Before Willow and Nina even laid a finger on him, Drew had already sent a secret text message to Michael. Yes, Michael. Drew told Michael exactly where to be and exactly what time to be at the boathouse. So, the moment Willow and Nina commit this horrific act of attempted murder, they are not alone. They think they are standing in the shadows, safe from the eyes of the world, but they have just walked right into the most perfectly executed ambush in the history of Port Charles. The absolute brilliance of Drew anticipating his own attempted murder and using it to finally catch Willow red-handed is the kind of soap opera drama I live for. I am cheering for Drew, just as Willow and Nina are watching the water, probably convincing themselves that they had no other choice. The doors burst open. Michael arrives, and he is not alone. He brought the police. The flashing red and blue lights, the sirens wailing in the distance. It is a symphony of justice, ladies. Can you picture the look of pure, unadulterated horror on Willow's face? The absolute shock when she turns around and sees her husband standing there with law enforcement, witnessing the exact moment she tried to commit murder. Her entire saintly facade shatters into a million pieces right there on the pool deck. There is no spinning this. There is no crying and playing the victim. She is caught dead to rights, and it is the most satisfying moment of television I have watched all year. And Michael... Oh, Michael! Without a second of hesitation, he dives straight into the pool to save Drew. Let us take a moment to appreciate the incredible poetry of this scene. Michael and Drew have had so much bad blood. They have been on opposite sides of the battlefield, tearing each other apart over business, over family, over pride. But in this life or death moment, all of that history is completely washed away. Michael risks his own safety, plunging into the water, to pull Drew to the surface. He drags the coughing, gasping Drew out of the pool, saving his life while the police swarm the area. It is a powerful, emotional, heart-stopping sequence that proves exactly what kind of man Michael truly is when the chips are down. While Michael is pulling Drew from the water, the police immediately move in on Willow and Nina. The handcuffs come out. Ladies, I literally stood up in my living room and clapped. The satisfying metallic click of those cuffs closing around Willow's wrists is a sound I will replay in my mind forever. The officers read them their Miranda rights right there on the wet concrete. Nina is probably sobbing, completely falling apart, realizing that her blind devotion to her daughter has just cost her her freedom. And Willow? Willow is finally stripped of all her power, all her self-righteousness. She is being hauled away in the back of a squad car, like the common criminal she has proven herself to be. It is the ultimate downfall, and they deserve every single second of this humiliation. But the absolute best part of this entire storyline, the twist that changes the entire landscape of the show, is the aftermath. Michael and Drew, two men who have despised each other, suddenly realize they share a common enemy. The trauma of this event, the shared realization of just how dangerous and toxic Willow and Nina truly are, forges an unexpected and unbreakable bond between them. They become allies. A secret alliance between Michael and Drew is the most dangerous, powerful force this town has ever seen. They put aside all their past hatred, all their petty squabbles, and they unite with one single goal, to ensure that Willow and Nina face the maximum penalty for what they have done. There is no escaping justice this time. In the past, Willow has always managed to bat her eyelashes, shed a few tears, and convince the world that she was just a poor, misunderstood victim of circumstance. Not today. Not when there is a living victim who can testify against her. Drew's testimony alone would be enough to put her away, but they also have Michael as an eyewitness. Michael stood there and watched his own wife try to murder a man in cold blood. Add the police officers who arrived on the scene to witness the immediate aftermath, and you have an airtight case for attempted murder. The district attorney is going to have a field day with this. Willow and Nina are going to face decades behind bars, and there is absolutely no high-priced lawyer who can save them from the mountain of evidence stacked against them. As a fan who has invested years of my life into these characters, I have to admit that watching Willow turn into this dark, murderous villain is a complete mess of a character arc. It is a disrespect to the fans who rooted for her in the beginning, but at the same time, the sheer thrill of seeing her finally get her comeuppance is intoxicating. The writers have pushed her so far past the point of no return that the only logical conclusion is a prison cell. We are witnessing the birth of a brand new era for Michael and Drew, and the absolute destruction of the toxic mother-daughter duo that has plagued our screens for far too long. I cannot wait for next week. I need to see the mugshots. I need to see the arraignment. I need to see Willow standing in front of a judge in an orange jumpsuit, finally realizing that she is not better than anyone else. This is peak daytime television drama, and I am here for every single second of it. Let me know in the comments below if you were screaming as loud as I was, because my throat is absolutely raw. Until next time, keep your eyes on the screen, because this show is finally giving us the justice we deserve.